So how do you make sure that you get all the essential nutrients in the diet to make sure that you're getting everything that you need, the calories, the macros, the protein, the fiber, the vitamins, the minerals, so that you can go into summer shredding looking good, feeling good, lean, mean, fight machine. That's what we're going to talk about today. So I've got my 2,900 calorie meal plan laid out. One of my favorite blueberry banana smoothies. We're going to talk about that recipe. We're going to go into the detail about some of the meal prep lunches, the food choice that we made over the course of this week, specifically looking at one example day. So throughout this video, the takeaway, right, is so that you can make sure that you are providing your body with all the essential nutrients, you have the energy to go train. That's what today's video is about. At the end of this video, we're gonna go through the weeds, right? We're gonna look at the calories, the macros, all the tracking that we did, and then, right, adjustments that we're gonna make for next week. So stay tuned. All right, so for meal number one, we have this blueberry banana peanut butter smoothie, which is about 570 calories, 15 grams of fat, 47 grams of protein, and about 68 grams of carbohydrate with 10, almost 11 grams of fiber. Super quick, super easy, super tasty. Really been enjoying smoothies recently. And so for meal one for summer shredding, this is what we've got is this blueberry banana smoothie. Enjoy. For the smoothie, we're using these Ninja blender cups, putting about 100 grams of blueberries. One fell out and the little monster ended up getting it and playing with it for a little while. But yeah, so from there we put about a cup of milk in and put in a little bit of Greek yogurt. This is pretty much just for texture. Technically, our milk is giving us our serving of dairy, right, fulfilling some of those calcium needs, but you know, a little texture is nice. Then we put in about a half a banana and roughly about 1 tablespoon or 16 grams of peanut butter, in addition to 10 grams of chia seeds. I'm only doing one of the cups here and kind of showing the breakdown. I do toss in my creatine, so just to make sure that I can get that in every day. From there, going in and adding a scoop of whey protein powder, in addition to about 20 grams of oats, just a little bit more nutrient bang for its buck, a little bit more fiber, B vitamins, etc. Go ahead and screw on the top of the lid here, blend that up. I do love this blender. This blender has served me pretty well for quite some time. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this blender. You know, clean up while things are, you know, blending up, and this will hold me over until about mid-morning. All right, so it is like the mid-morning at this point, so we're moving on to meal two, which is going to be Greek yogurt with some berries and peanut butter, chia seeds. But with this meal, I'm going to show a little bit more of the detail on how we're measuring and weighing food for accuracy, and then, you know, having that as part of the logging process as well. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Okay, so we have our ingredients here. We've got everything set up. We've got our scale. We're going to go ahead and tar that out. So for this guy, you can see back here, we have this Greek yogurt, non-fat plain Greek yogurt. And then for each serving, we have 170 grams, but we want a little bit more protein. So we're gonna actually do about 200 grams, bringing this about to 120 calories with, I think, close to about 22, 23 grams of protein if my math adds up correctly. So we'll take this. So we have now 200 grams. Then we can go ahead and start adding our other ingredients. We've got some chia seeds, some extra fiber. Do about 10 grams of chia seeds. Also a good source of some minerals and your omega-3s. Then what I like to do here is I'd like to take this and go ahead and add in about 100 grams of berries. And so now we have our 100 grams of berries, and we'll top it with about 16 grams of peanut butter. Alrighty, And so now we have this awesome little dish, measured out, weighed out, we track that in Cronometer, and we're all set to go and have a nice little snack for the mid-morning. Okay, so now it's give or take lunchtime, a little bit after, so it is time to eat again. We have, for lunch, we've got this awesome queso mac and cheese that we found on TikTok. I think it was Simply Health Stealth, I think was the name. I mean, it's a super popular recipe, and it is delicious. I did make some edits to it. I added some whole grain pasta instead of doing just regular pasta. I actually didn't add as much salt, both of which like increase the fiber from like 2 grams or 2 or 3 grams per serving upwards of like 9 to 9 grams of fiber per serving. And then I also decreased the sodium because I think the sodium was like 1,200 or 1,100 milligrams per serving. And so I got it down to about 680 per serving. And honestly, it's one of my favorite meals right now. It's one of our favorite meals right now, and it is legitimately delicious. So we're getting ready to go to the gym. It's been about an hour or so since we ate lunch. And so before the gym workout, typically, especially when I'm kind of eating at maintenance and trying to get a higher carb intake, this is the reason, so I have some good performance at the gym, I will do Gatorade powder, and I did do some Sour Patch Kids, a serving of these after lunch as well, kind of get that sugar fix, and then bring up those carbs a little bit. So then I'll have one of these before the gym, and I'll also have the same thing at the gym as well, where I'll do a serving of Gatorade powder with about 12 ounces of water, which is 23 grams. We're getting measured out here. Boom. And that will help give me about 50 to 75 grams of carbohydrate kind of around my workout time. And then we'll get back to the post-workout when we get back. Now, while we're on the topic here, we know it's coming. I know it's coming in the comments like, oh, that's so much sugar. That's so much sugar. You know, come with the receipts. I want to see it. I don't want to see some bullshit profile picture of you in a cartoon and no posts, no nothing. Like, if you have something to say, you better have a physique to back it up. So we just got back from training and did some upper body, did push-pull combo. Pushed it pretty hard, tried to increase the numbers, really trying to follow along the lines of the kind of program that we're running with. We did, started out with barbell bent over rows, and then we moved to the chest fly machine. I really like the chest fly machine and doing that before like a heavy pressing movement, because then I can like decrease the weight on the pressing movement and still get the kind of fatigue, contraction, involvement that I want out of that pushing movement. So we did chest fly, then we were going to do cable pull downs, but all the cable pull down machines were taken, so we ended up doing assisted pull-ups, followed up by incline dumbbell press, and then we thought about doing a little bit of shoulders and stuff, but honestly, just wasn't the best night's sleep last night, and so probably follow up with an arm day tomorrow is the plan. But nonetheless, we just got back from the gym, and it's time to refill some of that glycogen, refill some of that fuel that we just spent at the gym. And how I'm going to do that today, I've got some shredded wheats. Normally I like a bowl of cereal. It's just nice after the gym, something tasty, 6 grams of fiber, fortified with vitamins and minerals. And then after this, what we'll do is we'll have probably dinner. If I have some room in the evening for something, I'll eat it. If not, then I'll probably opt for like a lower calorie snack, like a popcorn or sugar-free popsicle, something along those lines. Then we'll go to bed. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do probably going to do one serving of this, because one serving is 60 grams, and it's going to give me about 50 grams of carbohydrate. This is normally what I shoot for, like 50, 60 grams of carbohydrate after a workout. Anything more than that, I'll notice that I'll kind of get like symptoms of gut rot, where I'm like really gassy, kind of distended gut feeling, don't feel super good. We'll go with 65 grams today. And then I'll do 8 ounces of milk. Boom. So we'll eat this, hang out for a minute, and then probably have dinner and a snack and call it a night. We'll go through some of the nutrition review and everything else tomorrow, I'm thinking. Okay, sitting down for the kind of final big protein meal of the evening on this 2,900 calorie meal plan. We've got about 100 grams of steamed broccoli, probably 125 grams of some cooked quinoa. I have a piece of salmon, about 3.2 ounces, and a piece of tilapia, about another 3 ounces. This meal is roughly around like that 400 to 500 calories, give or take about 45 to 50 grams of protein, lots of fiber, lots of micronutrients. I mean, it does a trick. Like, I'm starving right now. I feel like I could eat the world. After this, it'll just kind of calm everything down, and I can close the night out with, like I said, a little bit of popcorn or, you know, some sugar-free popsicles, see what the calories are left for the day, and then just kind of make up the back end of any calories with, you know, kind of whatever I want to have depending on what I've got left. Okay, so to close out the night, we're going to do, I already popped in the microwave here, we'll do some kettle popcorn, and so do a couple cups of that, in addition to having some of these sugar-free, we'll show you these guys, sugar-free popsicles, tropical, just a nice little sweet treat at the end of the night, something to gnaw on while we watch TV or play games and relax and chill. So we'll go through all the nutrition facts, the calories, macros, micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, fiber of this 2,900 calorie meal plan coming up next. All right, so let's go ahead and break down the overall nutritional value of this meal plan for today. But first I want to talk about the plan again, right? The plan was to eat at maintenance, a maintenance level of calories, right? Not a deficit. The reason is I just hate deficits. They are brutal, man. Whenever I do a deficit, I find myself, you know, really just hating life, right? I don't have energy. I can't work as well. I can't think as well. I don't perform in the gym as well. It's just not a fun experience overall. So yeah, that's really the goal here is we're going to eat at maintenance. Then from maintenance, right? And maintenance is going to support kind of the work and the life, and it's also going to support the strength training. That's about it, right? Then we're going to tack on additional physical activity. This physical activity is going to take the shape of daily walks, about an hour a day with a weighted vest, and a kind of one day or one event where we go out for kind of a longer bout of physical activity. This might include a hike. This might include a bike ride. Something that's going to be about an hour long, not too intense, not too taxing, but that is going to pull on the system a little bit further, right? It's going to use more energy than theoretically what I took in for the week. So, right, we're really using the lever of physical activity as the fat loss lever. Again, supporting the overall strength training and kind of work and everything else. So all that being said, when we look at the targets here, when I broke those down for myself, right, this is me. You can kind of see what I've got here, my weight, my body fat percentage. I'd have to say body fat percentage. It is an electrical bioimpedance test that I'm using. This can range, and you'll see fluctuations from like anywhere between 3 and 5%, just from kind of a standard deviation standpoint of like accuracy. Now, that being said, another factor that's going to play into that is going to be hydration level. So, you know, if I'm dehydrated, and I may have been going into this, it might read as a higher body fat percentage rather than a lower body fat percentage. That's because of the actual test itself, right? It's sending an electrical impulse kind of through your body and kind of sending that feedback back down. And depending on, you know, the rate at which that electrical impulse is able to pass is kind of giving us that number, right? When we think about electricity, what's it passing through? It's probably passing through things with water. And right, so therefore, if we're dehydrated or don't have enough water in us, that electrical impulse might have a more difficult time passing through us, and therefore giving us a higher or lower body fat reading according to our hydration status. So I don't take too much stock into this one number, but nonetheless, that's what we're at right now. So we have a basal metabolic rate here. You can see 1850. We have baseline activity, about another 1,000 calories on top of that. This gave me about 2775. I did another calculation as well. Got a little closer to 1800. I think 2800 to 3000 calories is kind of what I'm aiming for. About 2900 is the number that I'm actually shooting for. We can see here we have the macros displayed here. You have calories from protein is about 27% of all the calories at 190 grams is my target. 400 grams of carbohydrate. Low carb zealots. I'm sure if you made it to this point, you're just hating on this video anyway, so whatever. But this is a great fuel source. I can train harder. I can think better. The whole works, right? So it's relatively high protein, relatively high carbohydrate, and then dietary fats are pretty low at 50. When we look at the nutrition, I kind of overshot this a little bit this week. That's kind of what the numbers are for this plan. And so here is the breakdown of this plan. So, right, we had for breakfast, we had the blueberry banana peanut butter smoothie. We had the chia seed and Greek yogurt kind of bowl or mixture with some berries. We had the queso chicken mac and cheese, Sour Patch Kids, right, pre-workout, in addition to some Gatorade. We had some Gatorade during our workout, and then we came back and we had some milk and some shredded wheats. Then for dinner, we had our quinoa, broccoli, salmon, tilapia. And then I ended up having a few extra carbs and things left over, so I try to backfill these here. Now, going into this next week, I noticed something, and I'll address it right now, but actually we'll address it in just a second here. Total energy summary, right? We had about 2,900 calories for this day, about 197 grams of protein, 400 grams of carbohydrate, and 66 grams of dietary fat. Overall nutrition score was 96%. I feel like the antioxidants were lacking this week, and this is something that I'm going to try and improve next week, and we'll talk about that in the meal planning, I think, in the next video. Okay. Look at some highlighted nutrients here. These are the ones that I chose, right? I'm meeting my fiber, 45 grams. Iron's good, calcium's good, vitamin A, 90%, that's okay. Vitamin C is good, B12 good, folate, potassium, all those are looking good. You can see the vitamins and minerals here, really fleshing out my B vitamins for the most part, a little light in choline, a little light in vitamin A, and a little light in vitamin E. These are things that I'm going to try and improve this week with next week's meal plan. Why do I think these were lacking? I think these were lacking because I didn't vary my dietary fat sources very well. So like I had a lot of peanut butter. You saw like peanut butter in the smoothie, and then you saw the peanut butter here. Like this could have been like, I could have put like walnuts here. That might have given me some more vitamin E. I could have had some more green leafy veggies and some more like red colored vegetables. I think would have helped me with my vitamin A intake. And I think those would be two additions that I make for next week's meal plan. Now, with the mineral intake, we had calcium, copper, iron, magnesium, all of them flushed out pretty well, and also kept sodium in check at about 2 grams, just over 2 grams or 2,000 milligrams. Protein was on point, and then dietary fats looked pretty good this day. Some things that I'll highlight here. Omegas did really well. Omega-6s were a little lighter than even the suggested intake. So I had 12, almost 13 grams. I think it'd be closer to like 15 to 17 grams that I'm targeting. I think this will also help my vitamin E intake, especially if I add in some, more healthy nuts and seeds, more variety there, and then also some more healthy oils like olive oil. Those will both bring up both of those hopefully significantly. That's the plan for next week. And then, another one that we'll pay attention to is saturated fat intake. You want to keep saturated fat intake to about less than I think 5. The American Heart Association recommends less than 5 to 6% of your total daily calories come from saturated fat. So when we look at this, 17.3 grams of saturated fat. There are 9 calories per gram of saturated fat. So total calorie intake for saturated fat was about 155.7. We can round that up, but 155.7 divided by how many calories did we have total? 2,917. That equals about 5.3% or 0.53. So we had about right within the range of saturated fat intake, kind of keeping that limited. I will say this week, right, trying to hit this 400 gram carbohydrate, I kind of underestimated it, and I didn't plan accordingly, and my meals didn't fulfill it, and I opted for more processed kind of added or simple sugars than I would have liked for this week, but I mean, it tasted delicious. So, right, this would be my highlight, what I would talk about. So, like Sweet Tarts, Lucky Charms, Sour Patch Kids. I think that these could be improved. Granted, I'm not restricting here. The goal isn't to say foods are bad or good. In fact, I'm going to try and keep some sort of candy or sweet treat in every single day so you can see the progress that I make despite eating these things. Again, there's no demonizing food. That's not the point of this whatsoever. But again, if I looked at this, right, we have 42 grams from Gatorade. That is fine. I'm strategically using specific Gatorade, right, which has a specific sort of carbohydrate source that is really easily digested, called it's a specific type of sugar, dextrose, that is in Gatorade that makes it so you can rehydrate better, you can get glycogen into the muscle quicker, and you can just have some of that fuel ready to roll just that much faster. So it's designed specifically for that. But like Sour Patch Kids, another 30 grams coming from that, 22 grams coming from the Sweet Tarts, and then another 18 grams coming from the Lucky Charms. That is, let's do some math real quick. So 42 plus 27. I'm not counting sugars from like blueberries. I'm not like, those are fructose. That's something I'm getting completely separate there. 42 plus, I'm looking at kind of just like simple kind of table sugars, things that could be improved for next week. So we'll say 22 grams for the Sweet Tarts. So that is about 91 grams coming from, well, I don't really want to include the Gatorade. So let's not include the Gatorade. Let's just include the other pieces. So we have 28 from the Sour Patch Kids. Then we have 21 from the Sweet Tarts plus, and then 19 from the Lucky Charms. So that's 68 grams of added sugar from highly processed foods that honestly, like, I could have had a bigger serving of, call it quinoa, or I could have had a bigger serving of this had a whole grain pasta. Like, I could have gotten more nutritional bang for my buck if I chose different food sources, meaning, right, I didn't get it from these simple carbohydrate, highly processed foods, but I was able to get them from the whole grain pasta, which is offering fiber and B vitamins and healthy fats. Or we could have done, extra quinoa, it would added in extra protein, it would add an extra fiber, right? So I could, right, more nutritional bang for my buck is what I'm shooting for. But again, right, I'm not going to exclude anything. In fact, I'm going to try and keep some sort of sweet treat every single day to make that happen. So overall, though, not bad at all. Right, we met our protein goal. We met 94% of all of our vitamins and minerals. 96% of all of our vitamins, minerals, fiber, protein, hit our carbs, went over our fats a little bit. Like, this was a really good day. Like, this was overall a really solid day, right? It's like we met the nutritional requirements that we needed, with the exception of a handful of vitamins and minerals, or excuse me, a handful of vitamins. Only these few, vitamin E and vitamin A, are the ones I'm really thinking about here. So overall, like, right, 96%, that's an A in school, right? Or on if you score that on a test. So, I mean, we give us an A for this day. A minus, I think we, again, could do better with a few of these pieces, and that's what we'll plan for next week. And when we break these down a little bit, you can kind of see I'm doing like 500 calories for almost 600 calories for breakfast, another almost 600 calories for lunch in the queso mac and cheese. Let's say all three of these, probably another 500 calories, kind of my workout nutrition, around my workout nutrition. And then you have like another 900 calories because I had to backlog a few things, and I was a little underplanned for meeting this carbohydrate goal. So I really had to stack up on the carbs for this day, for the end of the day, which isn't ideal, and it can improve for next week. So again, we're going to show this kind of week by week and kind of go through them as we go through this next 15 weeks and getting ready for June 20th and summertime. Again, so I hope this gives you guys the perspective, the philosophy, kind of background knowledge. And then in addition, I'm going to try creating this meal plan in a Google Doc so you guys can, go take it and use it the way you'd like to, if you want to snag some of the recipes and things. And to close this out, I mean, if you guys have some questions, comments, or thoughts, I'm here for it. I plan on producing a ton more videos for this and creating more and more. So if you have some ideas, you have some thoughts, you have some questions, maybe we can start doing like a weekly Q&A live or something. I don't know if I get enough engagement on it. Definitely, I'll do something like that. But until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day.